Hey YouTube, just doing a video because I'm out in the car. I'm going into Blitzkrieg shop because I've run out of strings, and also to see Tony, lovely guy who runs it. I've also taken a couple of bucky casters in with me just in case he wants them. I'm not really sure. I can't remember what he said. I think he wants the left-handed one. But I've got basically two of the same. One's left-handed and one's right-handed. Because no two bucky casters are ever the same. I'm also meeting a guy who heard his, eventually I don't do bucky casters to order, basically. This guy's managed to talk me into doing it, so well, I said I'd take a look at his guitar and see if I could do it to, he's got a guitar he really likes and he wants it buckified, and it's I don't know, I must have been drunk. I've been talked into it, but I've got a couple to do anyway. I've got a Telecaster at home I'm going to do, so I'll do a couple at the same time. And something else. What was the other one? Oh, that Yamaha bass that I've had for so long. I can't find what do you call it, undercoat anywhere. I'm gonna have to go to B&Q and just buy a ton of the expensive stuff. I've been using stuff in the pound shop because it's actually pretty good. You know, it's like £1 for a can of undercoat's not the word. What's the word for? Primer. Just gives it. Oh, it's an old van. Doesn't accelerate quickly, the one in front of me. Oh no, he just doesn't know where he's going. That's alright. Yep, so quick wee jaunt into town. I wonder, it'd be interesting to see whether the town's back up to having some people in it. The last couple of times I've been in, I've probably only been in twice this year or something like that. I think both of them I did videos of, got to the Blitzkrieg shop, but just like, I hope that he's actually, he's busy and he's got some customers, because what a time to start a shop up. I think he kind of started up pretty much at the start of the lockdowns and stuff like that, so it's not really been open. I'd imagine it's just been basically bleeding money out of his account, I would think, for the last year or so. So it'd be nice to get back. So go and check out the Blitzkrieg shop now that the restrictions are up, and see some of my guitars for real, I think. I'm not sure exactly what it is he's got in just now. I definitely did him an Iron Brew one. I definitely did him a Bucky one. He's got a couple of my guitars that he's managed to get not from me. He's bought them, you know, they've been out in the wild and then sold onto, he's picked them up. One of them actually bought off my pal in Muddingston. That's the one that's been played by the guy from Las Vegas, who I think might actually be left-handed, or maybe that might be why he wants a left-handed one. And then I'm dropping off the pink guitar in Hindland, which is the West End. I don't think there's really any interesting things. It's too much of a detour to come home through Springburn. Actually, there's an idea. I might go and see Jack and Victor's house, just because I've now remembered where it is. Well, somebody told me where it was, so I now remember, and I can sort of come home. Because I'm coming from the West End, that's kind of in the rough region. You know, Jack and Victor's house is maybe only a couple of minutes detour, so I might do that just for kicks and giggles, shits and giggles, whatever it is you say. So that could be exciting. I'll maybe take the camera out. I should have brought my head attachment thing. Once we're all up and running, I'm not sure whether, I think Tony was talking about moving the Blitzkrieg shop just now. He's in the Savoy Centre. Apparently the landlord's a dickload, and he's increased his rent by 8-fold or something stupid. So he's thinking about moving somewhere nearer the Barras with a bigger shop. The way he was talking about it sounded, the guy has got some fantastic ideas, some big ideas. He was looking at a shop. I don't know if he's, well, I'll talk to him this afternoon. Right opposite Guitar, right at the Guitar Centre of Glasgow, because you've got like Guitar, and then keyboard next to it. Strung out guitars is kind of like a block down. Merchant City guitars, which isn't in Merchant City anymore, is like across the road and along a wee bit. And then there's a Tron Pawn, which is a sort of, it's a guitar pawn shop. I think it might do other stuff, but it's, you know, 90% guitars. And apparently the cash converters, which I really used to was always my favourite cash converters, which was opposite Guitar Guitar, has reopened again. I saw a Schecter Strat in there one time for £90, and it had a soap sticker on it, and I was gutted. I must have just missed it by an hour or something like that. That's one of the big misses, actually. Thinking about it, assuming it was, I didn't look at it very closely. It could have just been a cheapy Strat with a Schecter logo stuck on it. I'm just going to believe that was what it was. But that was when I bought my first foray into where I am just now with guitars. Up until that point, I assumed that to get a good guitar, you had to buy a Gibson or a Fender, so you had to spend £500 for a cheap one, £1,000 for a good one type thing, which a lot of people still think. And or the bare minimum was like an Epiphone, a couple £100. That would get you, in the rehearsal room gigging, sort of. But you're now thinking of upgrading to a Gibson. And I bought a Hondo Telecaster for £40. I think it was £30 actually. It was £30. It had like a Prince. I've talked about this before. Had the leopard skin scratch plate on it and a pointy head. The nut was hanging off it, so I couldn't actually play it. But I was in looking at this thing, and I remember saying to the guys, you take £20 for that? He's like, no, I just came in this afternoon and it's £30. I was like, okay. Well, can you hold it for me for 10 minutes? And I went outside, so I go out and have a fag and think about it. He's like, no problem, I'll sell it in the next 10 minutes, sort of thing. And I went out, I walked across the road and looked in Guitar Guitar, and they had a Fender Bajatelli in the window, which looked remarkably similar sort of wood and stuff like that. It was like £700 or something. And so I bought this Hondo, and I couldn't believe how good it was. It was like a Samick built Hondo, so you're talking, the equivalent of a £400 Epiphone at the time. And that really opened my eyes to what you can get by buying guitars that nobody else wants. Because it was a Telecaster with a pointy head, that's obviously a big no-no. You can pick up some stonking guitars for really not very much money if you kind of know what you're looking for, which I sort of do now. Then after that was the sort of Korean, so I ended up buying a few Hondos after that, because you can pick them up for under £100, and you're getting a guitar that's as good as any Epiphone, it's the same as an Epiphone or a higher end Squire. And then obviously I ended up going into the Japanese thing, where you suddenly realised that for a little bit more money you could get a guitar that's not as good as an Epiphone, it's as good as a guitar can be. You get some of the West Tones and the Washburns, the Aria Pros really are, if you know which one it is you're going for, they really are as good as Gibsons and Fenders. You'll kind of realise that if you look at the walls in my house, it's just like there's quite a lot of Japanese guitars, and it's like I'm now even going more to the point of getting the more obscure Japanese guitars, because people are starting to know about West Tones and the main Washburns and the main Aria Pros. So now I'm managing to pick them up, ones that are a little bit, they only made them for a year, so they don't show up quite as often, basically. But it was all down to that. It's the wrong side of town. I need to go back in to a guitar shop again. I've not been in for coming up for 2 years. It's just, not that I ever go into guitar shops to buy anything these days. It's always nice to go in and look in Guitar and go, it's £2,000, £5,000, take it. Wow, it's like pretty ridiculous. I'm sure other people do that as well. There's an awful lot of window shopping goes on with guitars. I do kind of like and maybe even have a wee shot of one or something like that, just to see what all the fuss is about. But the problem is I've just got this ability to see it when I see guitars from a distance. I can look at a wall of guitars and go, Stratocaster, oh, that's an interesting one. That's £4,000. I can just do it like that, just because it's slightly different. But then again, all the Arias, West Tones and stuff are all slightly different. Anyway, one of the reasons I like them, one of the reasons you can pick them up cheap, is because it's not a Les Paul or a Strat. It's Les Pauly or Stratty, but it doesn't look quite the same. Whereas now, when you look in modern guitars, anyone that's a bit weird and cool looking, you go, oh, that's really quite interesting. And then it turns out to be like one of your custom-y ones. Right? What's going on here? Oh, there's a new bridge here. Actually, I saw a couple of weeks ago, or whenever it was, last time I was driving through here. I was saying that they're building a ship at the side of the road. I knew it wasn't a ship, I knew it was a bridge. Apparently, I saw some footage of them actually putting the bridge up. So there's a new bridge coming up. There it is. You can see why I thought it looked like a ship, big rusty thing. Luckily, I'm just happened to be coming off the motorway at this junction. I don't know if it's the right junction, but so there's a new bridge. I don't think it's a footbridge. It's like a road bridge. Anyway, yeah. Must be now into Glasgow city centre. Coming down to the back of Glasgow Caledonian University, just kind of left and on the right there. You probably can't see from this side. That's some, is it the Christian Resource Centre it's called, but it's triangular. And I did a project on that when I was at architecture. Well, it was part of the architecture class. So I've went in and me and a Chinese girl actually, Anna, went round it and looking at structures. An engineering class, and the security guard was like, "Yeah, of course, come on in," and he was obviously bored. So we got like a tour of round the outside of the building. I think we might even have gone up onto the roof just to see, like, you know, the crazy structures. Because the thing's triangular, it's a little bit interesting. Is that guy just parked? Yeah, just stop in the roads. Don't bother. It's a woman. No, I'm not sexist, but really, if you're going to stop, you know, like indicate or something. Don't just stop in traffic 4 feet away from the curb before you get to a set of lights, because then people will think you're at the set of lights. Yeah, so I will probably get back in when I'm going for trying to get lost. Oh, my sat nav's actually giving me a signal, so I've got a chance of finding this guy's house in Hindland or Hindland, however it's pronounced. He's what he said, he's just recovering from surgery or something like that. So he's like, yeah, just I'm the top buzzer, you know, just give me a call and I'll come down and meet you. And it's like, okay. He said if he wanted me to drop it off because he gets the fear about going in buses and stuff, which is fair enough. I suppose if you're just recovering from surgery, I didn't ask what kind of surgery. You want to do that? Okay, so I'll probably take a wee short video, a wee walking across the street to see what's in the window of Blitzkrieg as well. So also, lights have changed. Well, it's certainly not quite the ghost town that it has been the last couple of times I've been in. Maybe that means I can't get parked. I don't have to go into the expensive car park. The last couple of times I've been in, the guy said you could park in the hotel, which I think is the Hilton. Hilton sounds expensive. Whatever the hotel is, and the ticket machine's been broken the last couple of times, so I've got to park for free. So it'd be nice if the ticket machine is still broken and I get to park for free. But apparently, even if it's not free, it's cheaper than the big multi-story, which is right next door to it. Top tip there. I think illegal's pushing it. It's bending the rules a little bit, going into a hotel and parking there when you're not actually staying at the hotel. Mind you, that's probably just because it's been really, really quiet. Obviously, I don't know very many people have been staying in hotels. It's been a tough 18 months. Every set of lights. Every set of lights. I don't know if G ever watched this, but I can take a photo of that. That's my pal G, whose name is just one letter. That's G. Should get his hair cut there because it's the G Barbers. Summer Glasgow is maybe not the most celebrated part. Yo! Well, I forgot to take the camera into Blitzkrieg shop. Tony likes to talk. It sounds like he's moving shop, and the shop he's going into sounds pretty good. He's actually, he said he tried to phone me, and I don't know if anyone ever tries to phone me. My phone doesn't work half the time, so I never get any missed calls or anything like that. So he's got a couple of bucky casters. Turns out I've actually sold a couple of guitars that he wanted, but he never told me that. Maybe he said it in the message that I never got. Yeah, so that should be pretty exciting. I'm now just about to go down There's Doctor Who over there. For anyone who's not from these parts, we've got police boxes. That was how Doctor Who blended in. I think it's actually a coffee shop or a coffee kiosk now. So I'm about to go down Great Western Road, Byers Road. Sat there, says turn left to get to Hindland. I don't really know where. I know it's kind of roughly over there, probably only a couple hundred yards. To get rid of this pink guitar, which I think Tony probably said he wanted as well, but hey, I'll do plenty more for him. He's actually showed me, so I was like, a sign, he's buying a neon sign that says Mad Balco Guitars for the window of his shop. It's like, yeah, sure, fine, as long as I don't have to pay for it, that's totally great. He seems quite enthused about it. He's kind of doing, I think it's more the sort of art side of things as well. I'm too practical to appreciate there's an art to some of the stuff I do. I suppose it is art, but I mean, I just don't feel as myself, I don't see myself as an artist who arted, you know. That's a quote from Pete Townsend. Yeah, so this is the West End, the fancy bit, the studenty bit of Glasgow. Used to be a good few record shops here. There used to be one just there called Echo, which wasn't really that good, but it was the only place I'd ever seen that actually sold new records. If you go back 20 years, I remember buying Neil Young, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, in there, and I think a Doors album. There used to be a wee record shop up the left there. FOP used to be there, I don't know if it's still there. There used to be called Lost in Music, which was a great little place. There's a wee shop on the right down here called Relics, which does sell records but also sells guitars. Actually, last time I was in there, they did an Ibanez Destroyer bass, which that was maybe 4 years ago. To be honest, if I saw it just now, I'd probably just buy it. I think it was a good price. I think my pal Ivor actually said he went into it and it was twice the prices when I saw it. So I think I went in and went, okay, that's a... I think I couldn't afford it, and I maybe told the guy it was a 1985 Japanese one. And he's going, alright, and then he's maybe looked it up, doubled the price on it. I think it was 250 quid, which to be honest I would buy an Ibanez Destroyer bass for 250 quid just now. I don't know what they were worth, but I'm pretty sure my pal said it was 500 quid and it needed set up. So, yeah, what's that now saying? I'm not going right yet. Am I just going right at these? I'm just going right at these lights, that's alright. There's also an Oxfam record shop down here as well, which I always wanted to. There was a Jessie Ray record that said in the corner, it was only £1. I don't know why didn't I buy it? I should have bought it. And then a sticker on it saying totally warped, and I thought that was hilarious. It's like, obviously it means the actual record's warped, but I like the idea of the fact that it was a Jessie record. Yeah, so I think I will, seeing as I'm sorting this, I'm no longer going to make it to Scots today. I'm going to go home via Jack and Victor's house just for the sake of it. I'm going to put petrol in, or diesel even, not petrol. When I was at the petrol station yesterday and they didn't have diesel, they only had the turbo diesel, you know, this the expensive diesel. So I've had a tenner's worth. The wee panda, the mighty panda, has had a tenner's worth of the high octane stuff, and it felt like it went faster. Did it go faster? I don't know. Did I drive it faster a little bit? Maybe, probably did the car some good. But I'll be back on economy diesel. Yeah, so just been stuck at lights, really. See you when I get home. I'll see you at Jack and Victor's house maybe. Hey, well that's pink guitar dropped off. Lovely guy. Nearly all the people I meet in relation to guitars are lovely. It's like, guitarists, what a great bunch we are. Especially slightly mental guitarists. Obviously you have to be slightly mental if you want a 105 sound pink Stratocaster. Where are you going? So I'm back to, I can remember last time I was in this region, there's Framptons, which is where I took the wrong turning. I came out that turn left to go this way. So I wish that girl had said that she was going left a little bit earlier. But she didn't. Right, okay, yeah. So got past. No good deed goes unpunished. I let her out that junction. Waited for a minute while she decided to go out the junction. So we're now going down Maryhill Road, and in on the right there is what used to be called the practice pad. I can't remember what it's called now. Is it the audio lounge or something like that? I'm going to guess. I remember selling did I do a swap for a nylon string acoustic just in the left, in that block of flats on the left there. I remember being down here. Why would I have been down here? And there used to be a big massive video shop there, like a Blockbuster or something. So that dates to when the last time when I was there. This used to be this is kind of the route I used to take home from the practice pad. The practice pad was quite good because although it was quite a distance to drive to, it had parking being one of the main things. Also, you weren't stuck in traffic because I can kind of go the back roads if I turn right just at this junction here. So this is just a wee 5-minute detour to go and see a local site, which again I have to guess where it is. In fact, I don't need to guess it. There it is there. Yeah. Can I just be a bit sneaky and just pull in here a little bit, right behind the thingy? No, I'll try going down there and see if I can get it. Ultimately, I should be able to see it. Can you see it? That's Jack and Victor's flat there. So just below that bridge you can see there is the canal basin. I don't think I can get in this way, but that's it. So there we go. That's how far away I was when I took the wrong turn in the last couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to go down left here, but I'm pretty sure that the canal's in the way. I think I should have gone in, but the bit where I said I bought a nylon string acoustic guitar, I did some deal, I sold a nylon string acoustic guitar, whatever it was I did in there. I'm sure I had to go in there to get in there. You can see it, you know it exists. That's close enough, isn't it? I'll leave this video running for a couple of minutes anyway, just to see if I can get a better shot down there. But there's lots of basins and a big pile of locks in the canal, because it goes down quite a distance here. So, see, like that, there's the locks. There's like lots of basins and locks for when the canal goes down to Bowling. So currently I'm going in the wrong direction to go home. I'm going to do a quickie at this junction down here. Quickie being Scottish for U-turn, whatever. I just turn right here and I can just utilise the mighty panda's turning circle and get all the way around in a minute. Voila. So there's Jack and Victor's house up there. And I'm not going to go in and see it any closer, just for the sake of it. It was really just to prove that it was there and I knew where it was, even though I clearly didn't know where it was. Just because I came in that Frampton from the wrong side, I didn't know where I was. Oh, come on. Come on, mighty panda. Do it in 4th gear so I can get to through these lights. We made it. Yep. Basically at this set of lights where I'm about to turn left at in 2 seconds. I totally know where I am. I've been along it hundreds of times. I remember buying a PA, the first PA I ever had, actually for 20 quid. I seem to, the volume control was like, the pot had obviously burst and it just had a screw in the volume control. It still worked though, with 2 very odd shaped speakers. One was square and one was like a cube, one was like a long thin one. The thing worked though. I think the guy used to use it for discos or something like that. I seem to remember me and Michael going and buying that years ago. It's like, we need a PA for the band. But okay, so kind of probably wanted one a bit better than that, but it was, you could sing through it. I think I just left that in the studio actually. I don't know what I did with the speakers. I think when I moved house, I think the speakers were in the garage. I sold them for a tenner each or something like that, you know. So I actually probably didn't lose any money on them, since I paid 20 quid for the 2 speakers and like a mixer head, like a 5 input solid state, couple 100 watt McGregor or Carlsbro. I think it was a Carlsbro, something like that. And I did turn it off there. Okay, so that was another wee bit of a trip. Bit interesting. I've now got a slightly scenic route where I go out. through Summerston. No, do I need to buy petrol first? 59 miles left. Rather than give the petrol money to, there's a big Asda or something here, it's got a petrol station, but I'd rather go to the wee independent petrol stations rather than give money to the mega corporations who are probably not doing very well anyway. Oh, actually, maybe I go in there and buy noodles. I'm out of noodles. That's maybe an idea. Seen as I'm out and about anyway. And there used to be a drug dealer down here, because I used to be in the studio when I was in a band called Carnival. We were in at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. That's how pro we were. And there used to be, I think the flats have all gone. There was flats here, and at 9 o'clock in the morning there literally used to be a queue of 10 to 20 folk on the street, just in there. Yeah. It's no longer flats, no longer houses. So there must have been something going on. I don't know. I'd imagine it must have been junkies, but maybe they sold guitars or sweeties, or it could have been anything. I don't know, it's an Asda. But I think it's quite a big Asda. I think it might be worthwhile, because they'll have a world food sections where I can get the noodles that I like. Yeah! Noodle doodle! Turn the camera back on again. That's me at home. You probably heard me rattle on for long enough so far. Nah, it wasn't big enough to have the world food section with the noodles I like in it. I'll just need to get them some other time. I think I'm down to a couple of packets. I haven't actually had them for a while. I can't even remember what they're called. I didn't bother asking. They had like, you know, pot noodles and super noodles, but that's not the ones that are good. The good ones are the ones that you get in the huge Asda at Rob Royston. Sometimes Asda's look awful big from the outside, but you actually go in, you go, oh, this isn't very big. So the back roads then. Nice to get out for the day anyway. Looks like the weather's on the way down. If I remember correctly, I can go up this one and then miss out some things. That'll Steph, you still have it now. So this is Summerston, I think. And then a wee bit of countryside out past the tip. No, did I go past the tip? Back in through. Choices. It's like when I don't know. It's not that I don't know where I am. I know exactly where I am, but I've got too many choices and how to get home. There's not an obvious straight road. There's about 5 different roads that go over different, go in slightly different directions. And this is the one where I go, is that the right road? It doesn't look like it, does it? It's not that one. Did I get to this tip? Did I go to, what's on the left there? I'd be tempted to go to the pound shop, see if I can find the paint I need, but we didn't have it when I was in last week, whenever it was, so are they going to have it? I think they maybe stopped doing spray paint, so maybe the way to go is if I go to B&Q. Thinking about it, I think what I might do is stick on baby metal and not do any more of the video. So will this go out tonight? No, because tonight's Fuzz Thursday and I've already done a Fuzz Thursday video. So a GHS pedal one, I can't remember what they called it. It was a muff, like a big muff pedal, but it's got like 6 different big muffs in one casing. It was pretty good. But nice to think maybe somebody like that would actually see his pedal come up somewhere, you know, in a search, and check it out, see what other people are saying about his pedal, and then see me and go, hey, and then link me. Wouldn't that be good? Go from like my 2,000 subs to 10,000 overnight, I would think. Assuming I'm doing a good job with the pedals, which I'm not really. I'm not a pedal aficionado. Trying to talk to that guy I sold the pink guitar to. He's going, yeah, it does all these things. He's never seen a push-pull pop before. I was like, bro, yep, that's how you get 50 phased sounds. What I need to do as well, Tony in Blicksteak was asking me what the switches in one of the guitars did, and it was like, oh right, what I need to do is I need to get wee cards and I'll write on them, maybe do something slightly fancy, joined up writing, and write on them, you know, this guitar does 20 sounds, blah blah blah, coil splitter, coil adder, etc. I really need to go down, actually, when he moves shop, I'll go down with a few cards and see what guitars he's actually got, and then I will look up my video for it and see what it was, the hell it was I did, because I can't remember what I did last month in a guitar. Looking at it, depends how advanced it got through it. I don't think I'm going to be beating 105 sounds anytime really soon. It gets a bit silly. I think I like my coil adder 25. 25 is a nice number. It's 5 times as many sounds as you're meant to get out of a guitar, and it's relatively easy to operate without going completely stupid. Actually, the next few guitars I've just got some 4-position rotary switches in, so I'll be doing some coil adder 20s I think coming up. I might actually see what can I do with a Telecaster. I've got a Telecaster. You get 2 single coil pickups and a 3-way switch. So there's not really anywhere to put a rotary knob on a Tele because you've only got 2 knobs. Maybe I could route it out and put a knob in, but then I've got to try and weigh up how long it's going to take to route it out and put it in, and how much I'm going to get for the guitar. You know, if it's going to take me a couple of hours to route out an extra hole, build a cavity cover for the back, stick the knob in, wire it up, is the guitar only going to be worth 20 quid more, in which case, sod it, not worth it. The decisions I've got to make. Also trying to keep the guitars cheap, because I just don't think, I don't see a market for a Buckycaster at 500 quid, really, yet. Once all this stuff's over and I can go international again, I'd quite like to maybe invest in buying some guitars from China, and I'll get them painted in Bucky colours. Do you know what I mean? I'll get some 10 Bucky out Telecasters and 10 Iron Brew Telecasters, and I'll just get them, you know, as stock guitars painted in those colours, and then I'll do some fancy wiring in them to make them all slightly different. Maybe even get a Mad Malco logo put on the headstock at a factory. That'd be pretty cool. Then I think I might be starting to think about maybe something like that might be worth 400 quid or something. Maybe getting towards there, because you're actually getting a professionally built guitar, like a factory number. That would have to be a new series, I suppose. Maybe the A series or something like that. So A1 to A10 would be factory built, unique, factory painted Telecasters. They don't have to be Telecasters, so I like Telecasters. I would buy all the Telecasters I can find. You just don't see so many. Although in saying that, I'm not sure I'm going to get away with the bridge that's on the one I'm going to Bucky. I've not had a look at it. The bridge doesn't look right. It's a 6-saddle bridge. For me, a Tele should have the ashtray thing with 3 on it, just to make it proper Tele. It seems to sound better somehow. I know that might not be right. I think it might even make the pickup in a different place, might be something to do with it. Like on the 6-saddle ones, it's a different type of, the plate's a different size, so the pickup on the long one, the pickup's closer to the neck, whereas on the wee ashtray one, the pickup's right close to the saddles, which is nice. Yeah, this is not going in. Rock on.